Hi, this is Kyle Schwarber, and welcome to the Phillies Show.
Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki. It's the Phillies Show. It's Monday, September 15th, 2025. The magic number on Sunday was 1. It's Monday. The magic number is still 1. Let's talk about it. It's the Parx first pitch. First pitch is brought to us exclusively by our partners at Parx Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. The Phillies fly to LA last night, maybe thinking that they were going to still have the champagne soaked in the hair, but they lost to the Royals. The Mets beat the Rangers. So here we are. It's Monday morning. And the Phillies might be a little tired as they try to clinch on Monday night, right, Ruben? You were on the flight.
Rough flight. Another mechanical. It's like the third or fourth time they've gone through it. It's been a bad travel year for the boys, and I don't think they're happy with their travel company. But it was rough. They had to bring in a plane from Washington D.C. It was 4 hours before the flight could get off the ground. Probably arrived here somewhere between 4 and 5 hours after the estimated time of arrival, ETA, and a little bit of rough, but bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, boys, for you guys.
Do they know that occasionally you have to change the oil in the plane?
Yeah, I guess. It's some kind of message light that keeps popping up, and I think it's happened 3 or 4 times. It's not good.
I'm sure
it's not good to have message lights pop up on your charter plane when you're flying, a franchise to across the country.
I'm sure the lads were very, very patient during that 4 hours on the tarmac at Philly International.
The boys were a little restless.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And rightfully so. And rightfully so, because it's happened multiple times. It's been a tough year for them, travel wise.
Yeah, I mean, any delay is not fun, but when it's happening multiple times, it's even more frustrating. Jim, you were in the clubhouse on Sunday before the game and after the game. What can you tell us about the scene there in terms of, you walk in, you get the plastics ready to be dropped, right? We've been in that situation before, like, all right, they're ready to rock and roll. Somewhere in that back room, there's about 50 cases of beer and 20 cases of champagne, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I think it all stayed on ice. They'll just keep, putting ice on top of it and save it for October at some point. But it's funny you mentioned, you walk in the clubhouse in the morning and all the plastic is above the lockers, and clearly there's a sense of anticipation. And with how well they had been playing and how poorly the Mets had been playing, I was convinced they were winning that on their home turf, and they were going to have a party and get on the airplane. It'd be the quickest flight to LA you ever imagined. But they get an early lead. 9 pitches in, they're up 2-0 on a pair of home runs, but they can't hold it. 1 bad inning syndrome, Aaron Nola, and everybody goes home a little disappointed, but only temporarily disappointed. They'll clinch it up here in LA. But it was funny. You mentioned kind of the scene. Walking in that clubhouse after the game, there was a guy pushing on one of those hand trucks, pushing out a bunch of boxes. And I saw on the Sharpie on the boxes, it said NL East Championship T-shirts, the T-shirts they give out. So they stayed in the box, but they made it on the plane with Ruben last night. So they are ready to be handed out in LA. And the way this team responds to adversity and how resilient it is, I just think they'll parlay this travel nightmare of Sunday night, Monday morning into a victory on Monday night. They'll come out there half asleep and they'll beat the Dodgers and they'll clinch it up on Monday night. That's my prediction. You think there's anything to that, Ruben?
Well, I mean, Ranger Suarez was on the flight. He did not fly. They didn't. They do offer it to the starting pitchers to fly out prior, but he did not go. And he seemed fine. He never gets fazed by anything. But it was a tough way, sort of a tough way not to clinch it there in Philly. I was a little disappointed in Aaron Nola's ability to bounce back after a couple of tough innings. And it just seems like at some point he hits a wall And it's something that I think Rob Thompson and Caleb Cotham are going to have to recognize if, in fact, he is put into the rotation at some point as the fourth starter in the playoffs. He's going to have to be
piggybacked.
He's going to have to either be piggybacked or they got to keep a close eye, because it seems like it just takes one at bat or one series of pitches to have him lose some of his overall stuff.
If that's an October game and he is in the rotation, I think he's out of there after 5 innings yesterday. I think Rob wanted to push him a little bit, much like he pushed him against the Mets to go 6, because he's in evaluation mode. They're in win mode, but they're also in evaluation mode on Aaron Nola, and I think that had a lot to do with it. But he 3 dynamic innings to start. Good off-speed really stuff, sharp. Fastball was sharp on the corners. And good breaking stuff, down with his breaking stuff, off speed stuff, change up. And then Yastrzemski, I thought, put a little dent in him with that 10 pitch at bat leading off the 4th. But he should have been out on a 2-2 breaking ball. Nola threw it beautifully. He should have been out. Nonetheless, 10 pitch at bat, big double. They make an error behind him. He threw a lot of pitches that inning, and in the 4th and the 5th, he got dinged with a pair of home runs. And after the game, he admitted the one bad inning syndrome kind of has bitten him all year, and it did again yesterday. He's kind of like the captain of clinches. He had pitched 3 straight playoff, clinching games to get them into the playoffs 3 years in a row, and that also kind of led to the feeling that they were going to do it yesterday. That on top of just this raucous homestand, this great homestand. And it just kind of ended with a thud. And then, you go downstairs and the players are watching the Mets. We watched the end of the Mets game in the media room, and Pete Alonso hits it. And then that's that. But yeah, Nola remains a concern. I've said it many times. I have great respect for the guy. He's been a great Philly. He's thrown a lot of pitches and a lot of innings for this team. And you just wonder if the old, if he's running out of bullets a little bit right in front of our eyes, because he just hasn't responded really well to that 3-month respite he had.
Would you consider guys like even pulling him even earlier than that? You mentioned like getting him out after, what was it, the 5th, you said, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
How about is he a type of guy in the postseason that if you can get him through the lineup one time, you just pull him out?
It's a possibility, but it depends on how you match it up, because the guys behind him, who are you going to throw out there? Is it going to be Walker Buehler? Is it going to be, at that point, do you fire out Luzardo? If you don't start Luzardo in one of those starts, I'm not sure. It's a tough decision for these folks, and a lot of it will depend on the matchup and who they're playing and stuff like that.
They did it in 2022 in the clincher against the Braves. They used like 8 or 9 pitchers and, handed off the baton every inning, and they got 15 strikeouts and no walks. It doesn't always work, but I could see him being part of some type of a relay race to get you 27 outs. But it is a major concern that he just kind of, boom, hit wall.
Yep. Yeah, this so they can get beer, they can get champagne out in LA. So they didn't bring that. I'm sure they kept, like you said, Jim, they kept that back in Philly on ice. But it did remind me last year I think the Phillies were in Milwaukee, and there was a clinching scenario. I think it might have been just a postseason clinch or something. And they had the tarp over all the lockers at American Family Field in Milwaukee, and they didn't clinch, so they had to leave town. And they left about 10 to 15 cases of Budweiser just outside the clubhouse. They just left it outside the clubhouse. They're like, all right, well, you guys, which is kind of funny because Milwaukee's a big Miller town. It's like an anti-Budweiser town. So you to leave. I'm like, who's going to take this Budweiser? Somebody took it, I'm sure. But I don't think that definitely wasn't going to get sprayed in any Brewers champagne celebration. There'd be a riot in town if that happens. So
they can only use Budweiser products in their post-game celebrations. It's for licensing reasons. But it was funny. It was such a great homestand. It's a 7-game homestand. They come out of the gate 6-0, winning all these kinds of games, comeback wins, big power from Schwarber, Real Muto, Harrison, Bader, Mania. So it was like a week-long party. And it kind of reminded me of like when you're in high school and your parents go away on vacation and you just throw like a week-long bender at the house with all your buddies over and you're hanging from the lights and the chandeliers and off the curtain rods and having a great old time and just partying hardy. And then your parents show up home a day early and you're like, uh-oh. And then it just ended with a thud of a loss on Sunday afternoon. You don't bring that party to the conclusion that it was sort of headed to. So it was still a great week at Citizens Bank Park.
Man, it was pretty ridiculous how well they played, no doubt.
Hey, that was First Pitch, and it's presented exclusively by our partners at Parx Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino, magic number #1, right? ParxCasino.com. You must be 21, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kratz, I'm going to steal a line right from the top here about MeUndies. A cut for every butt. I took a line that I feel like you would enjoy, but then you stole my thunder with show and tell. What do you have there?
Besides a huge Baduka dunk, this is my pair of MeUndies that I got. I'm not going to show you the other pair right now because I got them on, but it doesn't even feel like you have them on. Super soft, flexible, and yet holding everything together.
I love the 20 different styles, 100 different colors and prints, and the micro-modal fabric is what you're talking about. Breathable, stretchy, unbelievably cozy. And right now, as a listener of FT, you can get cozy and spooky for less with deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/foul and enter promo code FOUL. That's MeUndies.com/foul, promo code FOUL for up to 50% off. MeUndies, comfort that's made for fall.
Guys, we're back. We might need to get ourselves some Phillies show undies. At the PhilliesShowShop.com. The PhilliesShowShop.com. You can get all your Philly Show swag. If you're watching us on YouTube, scan the QR code. It'll take you right to the site. Might be something we need to consider, Jim.
I would love some Philly Show MeUndies, and I'll tell you what, I just love hearing Eric Kratz talk about underwear. It's really exciting.
Something special, no doubt.
That is great. That is great. Well, guys, it is Monday, and there's, like you said at the top of there, like we said at the top of the show, a lot of great stuff. So it's a great time to do Manco Best Week. Manco, because it is the best of the best. It's where we pick our best Phillies player, performance, play, whatever we wanted to do. We have the right to do it. Ruben, you were saying somebody before the show that you thought might be Manco worthy. Are you going to stick to your guns here? Are you going to
sticking to my guns, man? I'm going with the Durantula.
Oh, that's
the
a good
man
one.
has been ridiculous.
Duncan.
Last time he pitched, Duran pitched against I guess it was the Mets. There was absolutely no chance for any, and he went right through the middle of the best part of their line, some of their best hitters, and he made them look like children. I mean, his 102-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's snapping off the knuckle curveball. Wait, what? The knuckle curveball that, no chance. They were waving at it. 102-mile-an-hour fastball, the split. What a combo platter. I mean, the man is dominant. I love it. He's the man, and he is my Manco best of the week. By far.
Great guy to pick.
Would you call that knuckle curve a snapdragon?
It is just stupidly filthy.
What about you? What about
dirty.
you, Jim? You have a Manco best week?
I do.
Top that.
Oh, I can top that.
No chance.
I'm going Manco best week. I'm going to give the whole pie to the fannies. My Manco best of the week is the fannies. And the Phillies have put a lot of them in the seats this year. For the third year in a row on this homestand, they went over 3 million in attendance. And they are loud and they're proud and they love their Phillies. 25 plus games over 500 at home. Tough place to play for opponents. Great home field advantage. Legitimate 10th man, or maybe it's the 11th man because they have a DH. I don't know, but they are part of the show, and they are, part of it all. And like, that famous quote from Rob Thompson, 4 Hours of Hell, and they really showed out this whole homestand. I mean, the players gave him a lot to cheer about. Bader is, he's like an electric outlet. You just plug him in, and he's been great. But 3 million fans 3 years in a row, that's something that actually the fans should be proud about. It's a great sports town here in Philadelphia, and they love a winner. And so they're my Manco best of the best.
Yeah, the Fox game. Yeah, the Fox game on Thursday against the Mets, they had an overview shot late in the game, and it was slam packed, of course. It's just a great sight. I mean, not too many ballparks on a Thursday night, school's back in session. Do you have a sellout ballpark and everybody stay until the end of the game? I mean, that says a lot right there. Guys, my Manco best week is Kyle Schwarber. He hit his 50th home run last week, the second player in Phillies history to hit 50 home runs. And, just the season of Kyle Schwarber's dreams continue. And, he hopes it continues late in the next month. But Mark Feinsand at MLB.com wrote something about Kyle Schwarber on Sunday. He kind of called a few NL executives, AL executives around Major League Baseball, and asked them, like, what kind of market do you think Kyle Schwarber would have? And I thought some of the comments from some of these executives was interesting. One NL executive said, I think he's one of the more tricky projections in the game. He's just different than other guys. He thought maybe he could get like a Nelson Cruz-ish type deal from several years ago, and I think this is way low. 4 years, $57 million from a long time ago. But then another executive, way low. This other executive pointed out the deal that JD Martinez signed in 2018 with the Red Sox, which is 5 years, $110 million. That to me seems like the bar almost. Kyle Schwarber's going to want to blow that one out of the water, as he should. Do you guys have any thought? I don't know if you guys read it.
I think he was talking to the nerds. I don't know which executives he was talking to, but probably the nerds, the ones with the propeller heads, probably, likely. This he means too much to a team, and he's a championship type player. And if you do not want to win, then you don't sign this guy. If you're not planning on winning, and there's not that many teams who have the money to do this, but he's going to command a lot of money because he deserves it. He's one of the best offensive players in the game, and he's trending forward, not downward. His hours going up. Now, for how long, I don't know, but it's at least going to be a 3-year deal, and it's probably going to be a 5-year deal.
I would think so.
And it's going to be $30 million. It's going to be a 3 in front of that AAV.
I agree that you'd love to do a 3-year deal, but a 4-year deal is what he's going to want, and then you're going to have to go 5 to get him off the market. So that's kind of the way things work. Everything, you guys always get more. But if, he's already basically a $20 million AAV on this contract he's on, correct, Todd?
Yeah, it's like 4 years, 79. Yeah, right. He's just
basically $20 million AAV. He's going to get a significant raise on the AAV.
It's going to be a 3.
I think it begins with a 3. I've kind of been saying that, and I've thought it was going to be 32 times. 32 times 3 would be awesome to get him on a 3-year deal. A nice high AAV, short, but might be more than that. But I see a $30 million AAV, $31 million, maybe $32 million. And I think he's going to get it because, power is a commodity. He's still going to have that great bat speed, for, a few more years. And he brings a lot to the table. And I think his greatest value is right here in Philadelphia. I mentioned he puts a lot of fannies in the seats, says it. Mm-hmm. And he's a great contributor from the batter's box to the clubhouse to the community. I think, the Phillies will weigh all those things. And I think he's going to be right back here because, as I say all the time, I think Phillies ownership, John Middleton, they listen to their customers, and their customers want this guy back.
I think any executive that says, the guys, and this was some of the comments in the story, the guy's a DH. He doesn't play. He brings no value defensively to a team. I think an executive that says that is probably somebody that just doesn't know that much about Kyle Schwarber or just doesn't believe in the impact of a guy like Kyle Schwarber. I think if you're around Kyle Schwarber, I think if you're around Kyle Schwarber, he brings so much to the table. I said it a couple weeks ago to somebody, and I've said it for the past couple years. For me, he's the best leader in the Phillies clubhouse that I have seen cover, and I've been covering this team since 2003. Been some great leaders, different style leaders. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley immediately come to mind. To me, I think, though, Kyle Schwarber is just a cut above them all. I think he's just absolutely stupendous. And he's a winner, like you said. He hits bombs. He gets on base.
I don't say this very often, guys, about leadership. But Darren Dalton would be the comp for me.
There you go.
And Darren Dalton's the best leader I've ever been on a field with in my life. And he's probably as close to a Darren Dalton type player as I've ever seen.
So, some of the people say, when they're talking about what kind of contract you get, oh, he's just a DH. The game remains about, runs, scoring them and preventing them. So if he helps you score more, that if you can give up a few more on the run prevention side and still win the ball game, to diminish what he does because he's only a DH, there is a connection between, he, like I said, he helps you score a lot of runs, and now your pitching staff has more breathing room. It fits in to me.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Guys, the Birds. I was flying out to LA yesterday, and everybody was watching the Eagles. Everybody had the Eagles on their iPad or their iPhone, watching the Birds. A lot of people, though, were at Parx Casino checking out Parx Casino. What's going on at Parx this week, Ruben?
Yeah, there's so much going on. It's the fall at Parx Casino. It's my casino of choice. They have it all right in one place. The number one casino in Pennsylvania, Street Road exit of I-95 and the PA Turnpike in Bensalem. Action, excitement, headline entertainment, great restaurants. Watch every Birds game in the state-of-the-art sports book on Sundays at noon and Mondays at 6 p.m. Enjoy $1 dogs, $3 MLs, Miller Lights, and guess what? $5 Peronis for those of us who like the Italian beer. Parx Casino is perfect for a guy's or a girl's night out, after work, happy hour, date night, or just to meet up with friends, eat, drink, and watch the game. Just have a blast. Check out concerts, comedy, and more at the state-of-the-art Excite Center. You'll also find a collection of award-winning restaurants inside Parx Casino, including the Liberty Bell Gastropub and Beer Garden. The best cover bands in the 360 Lounge every weekend. Latin night this Thursday with free dance lessons. Do a little merengue, a little live band action. Plus Joe Conklin hosting national comedians every month and also country line dancing every month. Pretty cool. Parx Casino. This is how you win. Pennsylvania's number one casino. Tickets to all upcoming shows are available at parxcasino.com. You must be 21 to gamble. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You should have done that in your Tony Montana voice.
Sometimes I should have gone that way.
Ruben, you know who loves a good Peroni with his pasta? Jim Salisbury.
Yes, he does. He's a big Peroni guy. He's had it at my club from time to time.
Yes,
it's a nice crisp beer.
Very crisp.
It's very
$5. $5
Jim.
on Sundays at 12 and Mondays at 6.
That's a great deal, man.
What kind of beer does Tony Montana drink?
Tony Montana is probably drinking. He's probably drinking something a little different. Maybe a mojito.
Yeah,
mojito. Maybe a mojito.
Oh my god!
For our younger audience, that's Al Pacino and Scarface.
Al Pacino,
great movie.
Yeah, fantastic movie, guys. What did we think about Walker Buehler on Friday? We were talking at the top of the show about Aaron Nola, and I think he's got what, 1 or 2 starts left. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, it's 2. So he's got 2 starts to go to kind of figure out, how he's going to be used in the postseason. Walker Buehler's he's going to start this weekend against the Diamondbacks in Phoenix. What do we think about him in his start on Friday? He looked okay. He was competitive. I mean, he competed. You need to compete.
Do that.
I thought he threw strikes. That was the most important thing. His fastball command has been his issue. He hasn't really been able to nail that down in Boston, and I think that's something that they were exclusively working on. And he threw strikes. I mean, he was more consistent with his strike throwing ability, even more so than his start in Lehigh Valley. So that was a good sign. He's got some experience and some savvy. I mean, any time you can get a guy like this who's done it and made some important pitches and pitched in the postseason and has the cojones to be able to do it. I think that's a big thing. We'll find out more about him over the next couple of starts, probably, as far as his secondary stuff. One concern I have, and I mentioned this before, I think maybe on radio or something like that, is he's one of those guys, he doesn't hold runners. And for teams that, if he's coming into a game and he's got men on base, it can be a little bit of a track meet. So he's long to the plate. That can be difficult. Now, he might be able to tighten it up because he's concentrating on one thing right now, but that concerns me a little bit for a guy who's coming out of the bullpen, which is likely what he'll have to do.
That's interesting because I think he's going to face Arizona. They got a couple kids who can run.
The entire team. They're all running.
Corbin Carroll and
they're rolling.
All those guys. So
it'll be a good test.
The command control, whatever you want to call it, probably control, because you look at it's like 4+ walks per 9. It's just mystifying with some of these guys who come back from Tommy John. It's like the last thing that really comes. I'm not sure why. Is it the finish? You're not getting the finish you had previous to the injury. Maybe he is a 2-time Tommy John guy. Maybe that's had an effect. But I still like the signing, and I like the way, as you mentioned, Todd, he will compete, and there's something to that. And if you can cobble something together, maybe between him and Nola, and to help you get the 27 outs you need, then I'm all in favor of it.
Yeah, it's so he's going to pitch this weekend against the Diamondbacks. This week, Dodgers, Monday night. These are all 10:10 p.m. Eastern starts. You've got Ranger Suarez against Emmett Sheehan, who's 6-3 with a 3.32 ERA. Tuesday night will be a lot of fun. I mean, coming to Dodger Stadium, I love Dodger Stadium. I always have a great time at Dodger Stadium. I love the atmosphere here. But Tuesday night is going to be fun. 10:10 again Eastern. Christopher Sanchez against Shohei Ohtani, 1-1, 3.75 ERA. I mean, so that's automatically. Come on. Wednesday, Jesus Luzardo against Blake Snell. So the Dodgers, I think they've won 6 out of their last 7. They're 4.5. Yeah, they're 4.5 games behind the Phillies for the number 2 seed. So there is that number 2 seed in play. You want to come out and at least win a couple games, or at least win one game to keep the Dodgers away. And the Dodgers, but they obviously have a lot to play for. They only have a 2.5 game lead over the Padres in the NL West. So it should be a really fun week. I mean,
great week and a very tough week because the Phillies do not play that well in Arizona. Arizona beat them up in Arizona. So, if they come out with like a 3-3 road trip, I think that would be solid. If they can do that, that'd be great. They're facing, 2 teams that, that give them some trouble. They played well against the Dodgers in the past. I think they played pretty well against them, but it's never easy to go to the West Coast late in the season.
They haven't seen the Dodgers since it was still cold out. Like the second week of April, the Dodgers came here. Phillies took 2 or 3. So, God, months and months have passed, and here they are in this big series. And the little subplot, the MVP subplot, Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Schwarber.
That's a great point. Yeah, absolutely.
They'll be facing off. Be interesting.
Oh, Ohtani's going to be throwing 107 against him.
He's going to personally try to squash Kyle Schwarber's MVP.
Yeah. No doubt. They'll be dialing up.
Yeah. Well, we will be back this week. If the Phillies clinch the NL East on Monday night, we'll be back tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, to kind of describe the scene and go over what comes next. So, guys, I'll talk to you later.
Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.